Welcome to Polk Unplugged, where we take county employees out from behind their desk and put them into their natural environments. I'm your host, Jeremy Maready. We're out here today at Fletcher Park in Lakeland with Dan Weible. And to see more of what this is next to me, stay tuned. Hi, we're out here at Fletcher Park in Lakeland and here with Dan. And Dan, thanks for coming out and being with us today.
Happy to.
Kind of want to talk to you a little bit about your background, your history, and how you got to be a part of Polk County's wonderful IT department that helps all of us out and keeps the business running.
Sure.
I'll let you start. Just kind of take us through on how you got to where you're at.
Well, I've had a career in IT basically forever. I grew up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, started there, and typically the jobs would be you work for a while, the company gets bought out, merge with somebody else, and then you get laid off. And that's basically what happened to me. I had been with the company for about 7 years, okay. And we were bought out, merged. And shortly after that, they said, thanks, didn't need you anymore. And so I started looking for other things. All in all, I was out of work for about a year and a half. Did some contract stuff here and there to make ends meet. And also during this time, I helped some friends move to Lakeland. Okay. And realized, Florida's kind of nice. So,
not quite the cold winters that Michigan has.
I'm tired of those. Don't miss them at all. Especially November and February. Can do without that.
Yeah.
So after I got back from helping them move here, it was like, Florida's nice. Let's expand the job search, and applied at the county and interviewed, and here I am.
So now, in coming through and working your way through IT, do you have one specialty that you kind of focused in on, or do you have kind of a broad range of, I know it kind of varies depending on who you're at and what you specialize in.
Yeah. Where I had been in Michigan, it was a bit of a smaller company, and I did a lot of stuff, lots of different things. But I did specialize in like the Unix and Linux servers and the databases, and that is what I'm here now.
Okay.
The other thing that I was specializing in there was email administrator. And when I started at the county here, I was the email administrator for quite some time.
All right. Now, did you always know that you wanted to be in IT? I mean, growing up, or I mean, not necessarily IT. I mean, you don't know that when you're 8 years old, yeah. But taking stuff apart, learning about computers, electronics, that sort of thing. So. I'll take you through it because this is fun. The first thing I wanted to be when I grew up was Tony the Tiger. Okay, and you realize, I can't be a cartoon. So from there it was astronaut. Okay, that didn't quite work out. Then I wanted to be a marine biologist, and that seemed pretty cool until I discovered electronics. And once I discovered that, everything was fun. What was the hook in there for electronics?
Just that the things were cool. Old radios, tape players, things like that. Apart? Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was given one of those like 151 electronics kits, okay. so you could build all kinds of stuff by doing the patch wires with all the different components. They'd have a circuit diagram, and that was just the funnest thing in the world, And so once I had that, and then was going out and taking everything apart, and that was a lot of fun. And eventually I got a little bit bored with that. And about that time, the home computers hit. So like the VIC-20, the Commodore 64. And I discovered I've got a knack for programming. I really like it. And at this point in school, it's like, this is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. And so that's where the IT career kind of started.
So were you one of the fortunate ones that you actually knew going into school that this is what I want my career to be?
Yeah, after high school, yeah,
Okay.
or just in the middle of high school, this was like I'm deciding that, yeah, this is where I want things to go. And then when I actually did get a programming job, realized this isn't fun like it is when I do it at home. Mm-hmm. So it's more of a creative release for me. I'll work on my own projects. I'll decide, the things that I want to do, rather than having somebody else's parameters and somebody else's guidelines for how to do things.
Sure.
Work out, because it's like, well, yeah, but if I do this is better, and it's this and this, and they're like, no, that's outside of spec. Okay, fine. This isn't fun anymore. But I was able to stay in the field, just doing server maintenance. Started with application maintenance, and then the company I was with wanted to set up a database. Somebody had to do it. It got thrown to me, and it's like, this is fun. Okay. So yeah, that's where I shifted from doing the programming to the care and maintenance of everything.
So how many years have you been in this now?
In Lakeland?
Well, no, just in IT.
In IT.
Yeah.
26 years, something like that, 28. Yeah.
How does it compare now than from when you first got in? I mean, and where technology's gone, where computers have gone, what's the differences?
The differences are mostly computers are doing a lot more now than they used to. Just the capabilities of the machines are doing a lot more. The internet's come in. Mm-hmm. When I was first starting, companies were initially setting up networks. So to get a network in the building. So there's the big shift. And then when the internet comes along, okay, now we've got our network here and we've got this big network out there. So that shifted too. So it started basically as, a building with some computers in it, and now we've got several buildings and everybody's connected, and that's probably the biggest change there. Just that people aren't isolated in their desks anymore. They're working with people all over the place all the time.
Sounds amazing. I know. I mean, so much has changed just in, especially the last few years with technology and stuff like that. Just working on the back end of it, it would kind of blow my mind, I know.
And for a lot of us, it kind of fits our personalities. Some of us like to joke that you got to be crazy to work in IT. But we also are comfortable being the guy behind the curtain. Mm-hmm. The other thing, pay no attention to the guy behind the curtain. We're comfortable there. We're happy just making sure the machines work, the programs are doing what they're supposed to do. We're good with that.
Well, we know we really appreciate all the work that you guys do for us. I know, and so I think let's go and see a little bit about what you do in your job and how you keep the county running for us.
Okay. Well, I take care of the care and feeding for the servers that run the Oracle system, our Oracle ERP system. So, like on a typical day, I'll come in, I'll check on any processes that I left running overnight, make sure that they completed correctly. Then we'll go through any fires that may have sprung up, any emergencies that have hit first thing in the morning. Work through and solve those. And today, been quiet, so nice. We like quiet mornings. Then after that, it's into the more routine things. So check the health of the systems, check to make sure all the programs are running like they should, and make sure that the machines are all happy. And then from there, it's on to requests from users. So as other people are doing their work, they need me to do stuff, and so I get on the system and take care of those things. So usually the first thing to raise an alert, it would be if something stops working. As memory usage gets high on the server, or it gets too slow accessing the disk, things do slow down. And usually very shortly after that, processes may stop working. So I try to keep an eye on when things are getting slower, when things are getting tricky. For when the server seems to be struggling, that's when I try to jump in before things all come to a stop. And usually it's not very often. I get requests from several places. The people I work with closely are the developers and the functional leads for the Oracle system. So I'll get requests from the developers to say, like, hey, here's this patch that we need to put into a test instance because of a problem that they're working on. So they'll need that applied onto one of the instances, and I would be one of the people that do that. Or they're developing a new solution and saying, okay, well, we want to provide this solution for our customers. They'll ask, how do we implement something like that? What are our options? I'd have to research that. Or once it gets a little further along, it's like, well, we want to go with this option and that. Let's install that somewhere and get it tested and see if that works for us. And then, of course, after things are tested, then we would go through a process to move them into production. What we run is the Oracle e-business suite. And people just refer to it as Oracle, I think, because that's the logo that comes up on screen. I'm good with that. But we are running the e-business suite, which is a set of tools that provides, it runs payroll services, it runs our budgeting services, it runs our general ledger, it runs accounts receivable, it runs procurement, it does payroll, of course, if I haven't mentioned that. What else is there? I think there's some inventory stuff in there. And I may be missing other things, but it's a critical system for that the county uses to provide services for the county employees itself, and then also to track and work with our taxpayer money. With the general county external sites, no. The Oracle system does have the employee self-service, which is the external piece that all the employees hit. So when you come in to check your pay stubs, to check your W-2s, W-4s, things like that, that's provided by our external tier, and that is another piece that I play with. So yeah, so everybody touches it.
So we're out here at Fletcher Park and wanted to talk to you a little bit about your interest in disc golf. And I've seen it played, never actually done it before. But I'm kind of curious, and how'd you get started in it?
Well, where I grew up, we were outside of the suburbs. And
this is in Ann Arbor, right?
Mm-hmm,
okay.
Yep, outside of Ann Arbor, outside of the suburbs, kind of on the edge of farm country, so we weren't all the way out in the farm country. And my brother and I basically had to entertain ourselves. So we, played together a lot, bikes, ball, things like that. But we like playing frisbee catch. So we'd play catch with frisbee a lot. And then at some point we heard that there's this disc golf game. And so we like, okay, well, we can do this. And we'd take our frisbees, and around the house, one of us would decide, okay, we're going to from here to that telephone pole. And we'd do that, around the house. And then after that, we heard that there was an actual course. Somebody had put in a course at one of the parks, and went out to give it a try. And here's like actual tee pads and actual fairways, and there's a basket to throw into it. By the second,
a little bit more sophisticated at that point for you, huh?
Yeah, and by the second hole, I was hooked. It was just too much fun. And by the fourth hole, we're like partway down the fairway, and this guy calls out from behind us on the tee pad. He's like, "Hey, do you mind if I play through?" Sure. And he threw this thing. It flew farther than I'd ever seen anything fly, and it was little and it was flat. And he comes walking up. I said, "Okay, excuse me, what is that, and where do I get some?" and he had a little bag of them, and he showed me and said, "Go to this store." And yeah, at that point, it was just I was done. I was hooked.
So now, right here at Lake Fletcher, I mean, they don't have an actual course set up, but kind of walk us through a little bit about what you come out here with, and I know you come out with a bunch of friends, so we have a scaled down version today, but kind of walk us through what you have here.
Well, I've got my practice basket.
Okay.
I come out here to get a little field work in, a little practice work. I'll do a lot of putting. So throw lots of putts, and I'll practice some other kinds of things too. I like to come out here because there's the trees and stuff, and I can set up things that are more like you encounter when you're playing a full-blown course.
Okay. Yeah. And your bag back over here. I know you got your discs and everything set up. Take us through kind of what. Is it like golf where you have certain discs for different distances?
Yeah, absolutely. There's just like golf. I mean, if you want to think of it just like golf, it's a really good analogy. You've got a few different types of golf clubs. Okay. You've got your driver for your long distances. You've got your irons for your mid distances, and you've got your putter.
Okay.
Well, essentially, we've got the same thing with disc golf. So you've got a driver disc, which has a very sleek, sharp edge. Okay, that's designed to fly really, really far.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. And then at the other end of it, you've got a putter. Okay, which is going to be most like your beach frisbee. This has got a pretty blunt edge. It's not going to fly as far, but because it interacts with the wind more, you get more control over it. Okay, and then in between the two is what we would refer to as a mid-range disc. So not as blunt as a putter and not as sharp as a driver.
Okay, so, more for your fairways and that
exactly.
Sort of thing. Okay.
And so there you go. You've got your wood, you've got your iron, and you've got your putter.
Now, when you go through the different courses, are they set up the same? You know, where the different the curves in the course, your different obstacles, things like that.
So if we stick with ball golf as an example, a ball golf hole will generally be like what, 300 to 500 yards. Disc golf will be 300 to 500 feet generally. So it just drops back to feet.
Okay. A bit shorter.
Because you can't throw these as far.
Sure.
And the other differences are going to be that there will be more trees involved, a lot more tighter shots because the discs fly. You know, it's not more ballistics like a ball is. Okay. Okay. So you've got a lot more control over getting some curves, this way and that. Number of different types of throws you can use to control the disc.
All right. Sounds good. Now, how do you start learning all this stuff? I mean, are you reading books? Do you just get out and start finding people that do this?
I started playing in 1988, and at that point there wasn't the internet. There wasn't really a whole lot of things you could do to learn except go out and play. Lots of places have leagues. Okay. All right, and the park that I went to, they had a Saturday league that was doubles, and they would take the less experienced players and team them with the more experienced players. So, my first time out, I got teamed with this big name pro, and everybody is just throwing a mile, and I'm trying to do just trying to crush something out there, and everybody offered advice. They say, hold on, go for accuracy, not distance. So basically it was word of mouth. Okay. You were learning from the people that you were playing with. All right. Nowadays, there's all kinds of stuff on YouTube you can look at. Okay. There's videos of tournaments out there that you can watch. There's instructional videos on what the basics of the game are, or what the basics of some of the types of throws are, and how you can improve them. But I've introduced a lot of people to the game, and really, if you know how to throw a frisbee, you kind of have to adjust it for these because these fly a little bit differently. And I start people from the point of throw what feels comfortable. Don't worry too much about learning good habits instantly. I want people to enjoy the game first. So, sure. So get out, enjoy, and then if you want to continue, okay, well, let's start working on good habits at that point. Okay. But yeah.
Well, now I know right now there aren't any disc courses in the county, but there is one.
Soon.
There is
soon.
one on the way.
Yes.
We've talked to our Parks and Rec division, and I understand that one is on its way, currently in the design stages, out at Medard, or not Medard Park, Lois Hart Park. Medard's the closest one, and it's over in Hillsborough, but at Lois Hart Park, and supposed to be ready by the end of the summer. Is that right?
That is what I'm hearing.
Okay.
Been happy to be involved with that. It's
you've been in some talks with them, right? On design and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, they've been doing their best to get input from the local players, and the local players have been involved with setting up the course and getting things out there. So I'm real hopeful for it. It's roughed in right now mostly, and I was out looking at it earlier in the week, and it shows a lot of promise. It looks like it's going to be fun.
Sounds good. Well, that's going to be exciting. Well, let's get on out here. Let's get some stuff set up. I want to learn a little bit.
Okay.
All right. All right. Well, let's get started. I'm going to leave it to you. You're the expert here.
Okay.
So walk me through this. How do I need to hold things? I know we kind of went through what they are, so I've got that down.
Okay. So we're gonna be throwing a ways here. So let's pick a longer distance disc.
Okay.
A driver would be good. So that one's a good choice. And probably the best thing, set the other stuff down, because you don't need the
don't want the weight imbalance.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. All right. So for a driver, I'm going to show you what we refer to as the power grip. I've got my thumb on the top, and I've got my fingers wrapped around the edge of the lip.
Okay.
Okay. Adjust it, tweak it, for what's comfortable for your hand.
Okay.
Okay. But generally, this is a good thing to have. A lot of people will start off like this. Okay, they'll put their finger out there. That might be the only thing I would say. Let's not do that when we're throwing for distance.
Okay.
Okay, so we start there. Okay, a putter grip is a little bit different. Putter grip is going to be more of what we would call a fan grip, where I'll keep my finger on the edge.
Does that create more drag on it, or?
Well, no, actually, the finger out here does if you're driving, but there are different types of throws. So for a drive, I am going to take a run up and actually do a big backhand.
Okay.
Okay, that's me. There's other types of throws we can do where there's big forehands. You can throw something that picks up and rolls. There's a number of different things. With my age and my muscles and bones, I stay with the backhand mostly, because that's what keeps me playing.
Okay.
But when you're putting, it's a completely different thing. First of all, you're going to stand still. Okay, and you're going to basically pitch at the basket.
Okay.
So and that's basically the reason for the different
finesse.
grips.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. This is something that we're doing for accuracy.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the other you're just doing for muscle.
Yeah, we try to be accurate.
Yeah.
We try to be accurate, but we're gonna just basically chuck one down there.
All right. Sounds good.
Cool.
Have at it.
All right.
I'll watch you.
The mistake that most people make is that they think they have to throw the Frisbee up.
Okay.
Say new people. Just throw it down there. It doesn't need to go up. It'll find its own height.
Okay.
Just try and come straight across your chest and let it go.
Now you extending like right here, and then letting go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm basically what I'm doing is I've got my shoulders pointed where I want the disc to go, and when I come through, it'll release.
Okay. So I got my grip down, all right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Not nearly as far.
Not nearly as far. Try that orange one. Try the mid-range. Most beginning players love their mid-range disc first. It's similar enough to a beach frisbee that it feels comfortable in the hand, and they can usually throw those farther than they've thrown stuff. Huh. So give it another try. A little bit better.
Yeah. All right, we're now at where my pitiful throw landed. and getting ready to take the second shot. I'm not even going to worry about trees.
No. And really, it's not bad. Definitely beginner's throws, but you're not throwing up.
Mm-hmm.
Things are going to curve left for you just because you're not used to the throw yet, not used to getting the snap on the disc.
Okay.
But really, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
And the big thing is, are you having fun?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
I'm having a blast. This is great. So now you're talking about getting a snap on it. What are you talking about there? To where I could start correcting that left turn, or.
Okay, so that comes with just holding the disc a little bit tighter. Basically, when you're holding it, especially with this power grip, you're basically pinching the disc between your thumb and your finger. And when you get out, when you get hand gets out,
I'm like grabbing it, like I'm holding on for dear life here.
Yeah, yeah, and like you say, it's new to you, so
sure.
So, but basically, when your hand comes out to the end, that's the last bit that you're holding on to, and just letting your wrist snap,
okay,
to get the disc just a little bit more spin. There we go.
Okay, let's try that. Up a little bit higher.
A little bit higher, but not bad. I mean, definitely there was more spin on it. I could see it.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Now, which disc are you using here?
At this range, I'm actually going to use my putter.
Okay.
This is really a little bit outside of my putting range, but I'm going to try and make it.
Okay.
And if I don't, I'm going to leave myself close enough to basically guarantee
get the next
three.
one.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right. So simply, I'll mark my lie. And okay, well, less than ideal, but I will be there.
All right.
So the special thing about putting is that once you get inside 10 meters of the basket, so 33 feet basically, you have to basically stand still, stay where you're at until the disc comes to a stop. So that's part of the reason also why we putt a little bit differently.
So that's why you were kind of squared off before, so you're not moving. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. You have to demonstrate balance and control is the way the way it's worded.
Okay.
And I've thrown thousands of putts over the years, and I've just developed a routine that works good for me, and hopefully. Boom.
Nice.
There we go. All right, man.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
That about does it for this edition of Polk Unplugged. Join us next time. You never know where we're going to end up next.